Next on Startup, we head to Iowa City, Iowa to meet with Veronica, a dedicated frozen yogurt connoisseur who created Yotopia, Iowa City's first frozen yogurt shop that sources local ingredients. Then we're going to swing by Madison, Wisconsin to meet with Matt, an inventor and tech guru who started Murfie, a company that turns your old CDs and vinyl into high-quality digital files. All of this and more is next on Startup.
It all starts with an idea, and everyone has them. In the world of business, where you choose to take your idea determines where your idea will take you. Baker College is proud to support Startup and those who dare to share their ideas with the world.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
American Express is proud to support Startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
My name is Gary Brado, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and an entrepreneur. The economy is in less than perfect shape, and when the jobs go away, there's nothing left to do but get up and get creative. And there are people all over America doing just that. It's estimated that up to 85% of new businesses fail. So I'm going coast to coast to hear the personal stories of the people who beat the odds and started a successful business from the ground up. This is Startup. I'm on Pinckney Street in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm going to go talk to Matt, one of the co-founders of Murfie, an online marketplace that helps you catalog old CDs and vinyl records. Let's go hear his story. Music industry revenue in 2013 was at roughly $7 billion in the US, and it's held steady at that number since 2009, showing stability after the free fall from the early 2000s. Audio formats have changed numerous times over the years, from vinyl to cassettes, to CDs to MP3s, making it hard to keep an up-to-date music collection. Matt discovered a market for helping people adjust their music collection from an older, outdated format to new, high-quality digital files. Tell me about your education and some of your work history, just to get to know you.
Sure. I'm a Wisconsin kid, born and raised in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Went to UW Madison. Okay. I have degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, so I'm a nerd 2 times over.
Another underachiever.
Yeah. And I've always been involved with startups. I mean, I've been a kind of a startup ever since I was age 12 with a paper route. I always joke my first exit was selling my paper route to my brother when I was 14. So, and I've had a business really ever since. My first job out of college, I worked on a startup called Mosaic. We were doing video. We were one of the first companies to do video and audio streaming over the internet. We sold the company to a publicly traded video conferencing company.
You were one of the owners of the company, or?
One of like 10 people. I wasn't a founder. There were some comp sci PhDs that kind of got the company started.
What was the next step after that?
At that point, I kind of looked at a project that I had been working on in college called TurboTap. And that was a device for pouring draft beer faster with less waste.
Did you end up getting it into any bars or doing anything big with the product?
Yeah, TurboTap did really well. We ended up in a lot of sports stadiums.
What ended up happening with the company?
That company is still operational.
Really?
I exited in 2007. I guess the fun part about it was we actually had beer in the office at all times. So you can't really complain about that.
That could definitely lend itself to a very productive work environment, for
yes,
sure.
Yes, it was terrific. Yeah. So after TurboTap, I took a little bit of time off, and when I was moving back to Madison after having taken the time off, I was unboxing all of my possessions, of which I had a few boxes of CDs, and as I was unboxing them, I said, well, this is a little bit strange because I don't own a CD player anymore. Learning that there are 15 billion other CDs out there. Yeah. Problem, learning that just about every friend that I talked to still had them. so they hadn't just thrown them away or done something with them. You know,
It's hard to throw music away.
Well, that's just it, exactly. And that to me meant that everybody had the same sort of emotional ties. I was introduced to my co-founders, kind of found them in Madison through friends and friends of friends, and they kind of shared sort of the similar vision around the problem that we're attempting to solve. And it's a big problem when you think about creating a platform for collecting music, you know, well into the future.
Is that kind of how you approach a new business? Find a problem and then develop a solution?
Yeah, certainly for me. I mean, recognizing the problem is sort of the big thing. So if I look at TurboTap, I was waiting in line for a beer. And it was sort of like online, it was moving slowly, it was warm, I really wanted a beer. So that was recognizing the problem. And the question is, well, how do you create the solution? And usually it's not like the movie Back to the Future where the guy falls and hits his head on the toilet and boom, the flux capacitor, right? It's an evolution, it's a process. You know, oftentimes we're in such a routine, we're on autopilot, we don't stop to think about, you know, oh geez, you know, that could be faster, this could be better. It's just sort of, you know, you just sort of accept the status quo. So I think it kind of starts with not just sort of being willing to accept the status quo.
The largest vinyl record collection on file features more than 1 million LPs. The name, what is it?
Murfie, M-U-R-F-I-E. So the derivation is Material Recycling Facility, MRF. So we added in a couple of vowels to do it and registered the domain, and we had Murfie.com.
Explain to me what Murfie is, like I'm a 5-year-old.
So if you have a music collection at home, CDs or vinyl, you can send it to us, and we have trained experts here that will digitize that, put it into a private locker in the cloud where you can then access all of that content on any device anywhere. For the flip side, for people that want to continue to collect music, we have a marketplace. So all these CDs that come in, not everyone wants to keep them. Some folks want to sell them. And so you can come into our marketplace and sell or even trade music. And it's an important thing to remember, it's one for one. So if you're the CD owner, you're not selling multiple copies, digital copies of one CD. Very important. So once you sell your CD, it is no longer yours, it is that new person's CD to enjoy. That's very important. So they're like, oh, so I can sell my print CD 1,000 times. No, that was Napster and that didn't work out so well. We're at the opposite end of streaming. So there's one future that's purely streaming where you're renting your music.
Like Spotify.
Exactly. So, and then you start and end your music experience on those services with nothing. On Murfie, you start and end with your music.
It seems like there's a direct, very tangible element to this business. Bringing in a box of physical CDs, it gets handed to you. And then, of course, the online element to it. So walk me through both sides of that and how it was able to develop.
First step was getting the basic brand kind of built and getting a website up and platform built so that we could start to bring in the content. And then it was a matter of, because you know a lot of it is building up this collection of music collections. So it's like, how do we get discs in the door? And so initially it was free. So it was, folks could send in their music to us for free as we wanted to build that up. Yeah, it was great. So you missed out. Now we charge for all this sort of thing, but it allowed us to get sort of that first 100,000, first 200,000 CDs.
Seems like a heavy workload.
This is why Murfie will not be upended by really like brilliant college students in a coffee shop, because you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and actually carry boxes around and store things and barcode things, and there's a big logistics component to what we do.
What did you use to get the word out?
One of the better PR hits for us early on was on National Public Radio. They sent out a broadcaster that kind of did a piece, and they ended up going national.
And then you did a few other kind of local papers like New York Times and Wall Street Journal and that type of
you get there eventually, yeah. New York Times and CNET, and now we never really know. Like every now and then an article just kind of pops up. Normally if you ask an entrepreneur, do you want to be in the New York Times today? They say, sure, I want to be in the New York Times today.
No, not ready.
But it's not always the best answer to that question. You know, you kind of want to be in the Wisconsin State Journal today and the New York Times in 2 months.
You got to be ready to handle that level of PR.
You got to be ready to catch that lightning in the bottle, because you never know when it's going to strike. So we're in our warehouse space. This is where we put together kits for folks that want to send in their CDs to Murfie. So depending on how many CDs folks want to send in, we have various boxes of different sizes, but we'll send you a box with a prepaid shipping label and everything else. Make it really simple. Your CDs come back in a box that looks like this, and they're pretty heavy. And they're all kind of put in here. There's 100 CDs in this box.
100?
100, yep. Right, about 20 pounds or so. So yeah, music collections are heavy. on big days, I think the UPS, guy is generally probably not very happy with us because they are pretty heavy and we get a lot of boxes in.
Sure.
But it's good business for UPS.
Everyone but the driver.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could stretch out into a straight line all the data stored on a single CD, it would reach over 4 miles in length. What's your favorite thing about working here?
My favorite thing about working here is that Murfie creates a place where you can really develop your skills. So like I mentioned, I do all these different things because it's a small company, so these positions are open for us to do the most that we can do with them.
And you get to wear a lot of different hats, so your experience is like exponential.
Exactly.
You got with your partners, developed the idea, but I'm sure that there were some hefty costs involved in starting.
You can only be so lean when you're dealing with physical goods, and you can only be so lean in the music space when competitors are Apple and Amazon and other companies that have raised hundreds of millions of dollars. We've been able to kind of move Murfie along in a relative shoestring in the music industry. We've raised about $4 million.
Is the business profitable?
We are unit profitable, but not profitable overall. So we need to continue to scale.
What formats were you listening on then? Had you kind of already switched over to listening to digital music?
I'd been through several waves of converting my CDs and vinyl to iTunes and other services, and didn't find that very useful because it was often locked up on a particular computer. So my first experience was walking through what it would cost, and that went pretty quickly. And
Bucket album, right?
well, yeah, within I'd say about 5 to 7 days, I had all the CDs, so about 238 of those suddenly became available. I also took advantage of a service that Murfie has with a company called Sonos to buy some wireless devices that I could put around my house that make it very easy to have very high quality audio anywhere from my basement to my attic without having to move a heavy speaker amplifier system or walk around with a boombox. So that's been great.
What advice would you have for other entrepreneurs out there that are trying to do something that they're passionate about or solve a problem?
No one has more passion for your own idea than you.
Of course.
So that I think is, and oftentimes people, I think, forget that because they think, oh, I've got this great idea, I want somebody else to kind of run with it, I'll give them the idea, and that's very naive to think that way. So if you're not willing to see it through, no one else is really going to be there to sort of back you up, I think. So that's sort of advice number one. And then advice number two is, you should be taking a big swing at the plate because starting a company is hard. So if you're successful, you want to make it a big success, not a small success.
Thank you so much for talking with us today.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. There are a million ways to start a business, but how did Matt do it? Let's find out. He started the business with $500,000, acquired through personal funds and a seed loan. His credit score was over 800, and in its first year, the company took a $60,000 loss. If he could do it again, he would have simplified the overall concept. The one word that Matt uses to describe what it takes to really make it in business is action. When an idea strikes a chord, it's always best to tune in and see how the idea plays out in the marketplace. And passion is instrumental for conducting a business that truly measures up. And it looks like Murfie has people all over the country singing its praises. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for Murfie.
What does social media play in business today? I would say everything. Social media is where your customer base most likely is because normally we look at the markets 18 to 35 and a lot of them are digital natives at this point. They're also communicating through these social media platforms, as well as there are ways that the individuals who are your consumers can check every one of your competitors' prices at the same exact time. So you no longer can kind of make it and they will come. You have to be part of the social media platform.
Next time on Startup, we head to Asheville, North Carolina to talk to Grace and Mariano, two friends that met in college and started Appalach, a clothing company that makes handmade outdoor apparel with locally sourced wool. Then we head to Edwardsville, Illinois to meet with Jenny and Ed, a married couple that met in culinary school and started Cleveland Heath, a restaurant that has critics raving from all over the country. Be sure to join us next time on Startup.
another option for you.
Okay.
See, this might be a little bit more your color.
This one fits perfect. Oh, it feels good too.
Like it was made for you.
I feel very free. Rolling? So I know we're on opposite sides of the fence, but why do you always got to balk about what you do, huh?
American Express is proud to support startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet, find new roads.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
It all starts with an idea, and everyone has them. In the world of business, where you choose to take your idea determines where your idea will take you. Baker College is proud to support startup and those who dare to share their ideas with the world.